Now, as you might already know, I do like talking about very interesting places and airports. So today we are in Norway to check out the island of Værøy, and more specifically its airport, or should I say its former airport, because the airport right in front of us does not exist anymore. These days the only way to get to this island is via the helipad, or obviously by ship. I think the heliport is over there. That is still active, but the airport got closed. In this video, let's talk about why it got closed and maybe operate some planes here. Maybe pretend like the airport is still active. Now we are pretty high up in the north. As you can see here, we're on a very small island. This is really not a large island. And on a small island like this, it can be difficult to build an airport, obviously. I mean, big airports are probably as large as the whole island itself. Now here in the sim, this airport is still alive and well. We even got the person on the ramp. We still got service going, and we are spawned into a Twin Otter. Yeah, the Twin Otter was a plane that used to operate at this airport a lot, and it's definitely a suitable plane for this one. It does operate on very short runways. Taking off should not be an issue, neither should be landing. I mean, after all, there used to be DH6 Twin Otters flying here before it was closed. And we can rotate. All is good. Then we can skip trying to land the Twin Otter here because, as you might know, if you can take off on a runway, you can definitely land on it too. But yeah, that was good. Let's actually move on to a bigger plane. I think the DH6 Twin Otter was pretty much the biggest plane to fly here, really. The runway is really not long, 800 meters, which is like 2,000 feet or barely 2,000 feet. But I don't know, maybe we can try a jet plane. You know what? Let's just try a Bombardier Challenger 300, which is a classic private jet. On paper, I think this plane is not even allowed to operate on such a short runway, but let's do it anyway. Right, the runway is ahead. Yeah, Norway has a very interesting landscape, definitely. You definitely come across very tall mountains right next to the coast. You don't want to crash into that one, even though that seems kind of unlikely. I just don't think that this airport has east-hand traffic patterns. Oh no. Alright. Yeah, that was one of the most uncomfortable landings I've done in the Challenger 300. But we did stop. This plane is quite a quick stopper. We didn't even use that much of the runway. By the way, some of you might ask now, why are the markings on the runway yellow? And there's a simple explanation for that. Norway is so high up in the north that there's snow pretty much 12 months of the year, and obviously snow is white, and so that pilots could see the runway markings, they decided not to make the runway markings white, but yellow. And you can see that at pretty much any runway here up in the north, so that's that. Now that was successful. Let's try a bigger plane. I'm actually quite surprised. This was not bad. Now how about, I don't know, let's try a 737. I mean, what can go wrong? Now let's maybe talk about why this airport was closed. So the thing is, this airport was extremely challenging to fly into. Not only you had this very short runway, but you also faced a very challenging weather situation. But let's land this plane first. Oh goodness. I mean, that was quite a safe landing. Yes, we have stopped, that is good. I have seen smoother landings though. Ouch, that was actually a bounce as well. Now about the weather situation at this airport, there were a lot of crosswinds. Right now we have clear blue skies and 0 winds. At least so that's the simulator situation, but in real life, you didn't have that. There were a lot of crosswinds and even more crosswinds. And on April 12th, 1990, pretty much spot on 30 years ago, something bizarre happened. Pretty much 8 seconds after takeoff, a Twin Otter crashed into the ocean here. And the crash happened because of a very bizarre reason. The wind speed and the turbulence were so high that it caused a structural failure on the airplane. Yes, that wind managed to break a Twin Otter apart. Yeah, that was a very fatal accident, and ever since that accident at the airport was closed to never open again. And 3 years after that, this heliport was opened. And ever since then, the only way to fly to this airport was by helicopter. So we do have to try out. Oh my goodness. we do have to try out helicopters now. Now, helicopters are very interesting to fly. In fact, you sit in the right seat, which is a little bit interesting. Let's try landing. Yeah, we don't like helicopters on this channel, really. Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh, no. We're losing altitude. Yeah, I definitely prefer airplanes. Now that is out of our way, so let's move on to the airport itself, right? Now, where were we? Yes, we tried the 737, and that landing worked really, really well. So let's move on. Which plane can we try next? That is actually a pretty good question. Now, I do want to fly this Dassault Falcon, so let's just do that, even though it's smaller than the 737. But I don't know, I just wonder, can you operate a Dassault Falcon FA-50 here? Alright, we're coming in. Let's actually try going for a smooth landing this time around. Oh, there is a hot air balloon there. That's not good. Shh. Ouch. Alright, forget about that smooth landing idea. Stopping is the actual mission. Oh, Jesus. Okay, that was good enough, I guess. Fair enough. Let's actually move on to an even bigger plane. How about something like the 767? Yeah, let's use the whole runway to take off, because we'll need it. Alright, some flaps. Let's go full power. Okay. Actually, this does not seem too bad. Very, 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 very close. But good enough, I guess. So let's go for even a bigger plane. How about the 777? Alright, 777, let's go ahead. Yeah, let's see if the huge reversers of the GE90 engines can help us stop a bit. Oh god. Brake. Please, just brake. Oh, I can hear clapping in the background. That's pretty nice. And I wonder what these stone barriers are for. And we have another clap. That was not the best landing I have ever done. Oh my goodness. Yeah, we can't say that the 777 is not supposed to operate on this runway. I mean, it's closed anyway, so who cares? Alright, so welcome aboard the 747. This is probably pretty hopeless anyway. I mean, it's worth a try, isn't it? Okay. Let's try not destroying the houses ahead of us. That might be good. Oh, Jesus Christ. Yeah, that runway is not long enough for the 747, but we're off the ground now. I mean, we did run over some houses. What's that? Interesting. But what about the winds that I talked about earlier? Let's actually simulate the winds as well this time around. You know, this whole video we flew with 0 winds. So let's spice things up a little bit. Yeah, that seems more like it. Right, we have rain, we have heavy winds as well. Let's go ahead and try taking off this Cirrus jet. We're gonna have to fight against some crosswinds. Oh my goodness. Oh, yeah, now I understand why that Twin Otter fell apart on takeoff. Yeah, it's a little bit shaky in here, but we are still flying. Or not. Right now we have lost our wings too, just like the Twin Otter. Let's try flying some other plane here. Let's actually go for the Twin Otter. Alright, the runway is ahead. Wait, how do I actually activate the windshield wipers? I need to find that out. Oh, the plane doesn't like being tossed around like this at all. Well, now I can kind of understand why they decided to close this airport. It does seem like a very reasonable decision, but our wings are still attached just fine, so we can continue to fly. Oh my goodness. That was one of the worst crosswind landings I have ever done. I mean, obviously the winds were extremely bad. I think that was around 40 knots. Boom. Ouch. But the plane is still alive, I guess. That's good. So yeah, in conclusion, we can say that it was definitely a very good decision to close down this airport, just for safety reasons alone. Even though it is a little bit strange that after only one accident, this airport decided to close down completely, but it was definitely a reasonable decision. And if you really wanted to operate a plane here, you could probably try something like an X-Cub. Let's do that. Oh. Right, maybe we can land the X-Cub here as well. Oh. I mean, honestly, this was a pretty solid landing, wasn't it? So we can say, yes, this island is still reachable by plane. Just have to have an X-Cub and severely damage it. But this worked out. So yeah, guys, thank you for watching today's video. And I'll see you tomorrow. As always, good night.